and welcome to Flipping in Fifth with me, Mrs. G. Today we're going to be talking about Topic 11, Lesson 8, and today's learning target is I can solve multi-step word problems. This is always a really difficult thing for a lot of fifth graders to do because it takes a lot of thinking. So right now I want you to put your thinking cap on, make sure all of your distractions are gone, and let's get to work. So here's our first question. Mrs. G wants to put new flooring in her family room and kitchen. How much more flooring will she need for the family room than the kitchen? So here we have the size of our family room, and we have the length, which is 13 1/2 feet, by the width, which is 17 1/3 feet. And then here's my kitchen, and it's 12 feet by 10 3/4 feet. So the first thing we need to do is figure out how much bigger is the family room than the kitchen. So how much more flooring am I going to need in that room? So we need the area of the family room, because if we're putting flooring in, we need to know how much is throughout the whole thing, not just around it, because that would be perimeter, the whole inside. So we know we need to do area. So area of the family room minus area of the kitchen. But do we know the area of the family room or the area of the kitchen yet? No, we don't. So the first thing we need to do is figure out the area of the family room. Area, remember, is length times width. So we have 13 1/2 times 17 1/3. We have to change these into improper fractions so we can multiply them. So now we have 27 halves times 52 thirds. We're going to multiply straight across. 27 times 52 is 1,404, and 2 times 3 is 6. So now we need to do 1,404 divided by 6, and that equals 234. So here our family room, the area of our family room is 234 feet squared. Don't forget, anytime that we're talking about area, your answer is always labeled in square. Feet squared in this case. Okay, so now we know what the area is of the family room. Now we need to find the area of the kitchen. So we're going to do 12 times 10 3/4. 12 times 10 3/4. We're going to turn the whole number into a fraction by putting a 1 under it and multiply and turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. So 12 times 43 is 516. 1 times 4 is 4. Now we need to do 516 divided by 4, and that's 129. So we know the area of the kitchen is 129 square feet. 129 square feet. So are we done? We now know the area of the family room and we know the area of the kitchen, but we have to go back and reread the question. It says, how much more flooring will she need for the family room than the kitchen? Well, if it's asking us how much more will I need for this room than the smaller room, we know we are going to be subtracting. So we have 234, which is the area of the family room, minus 129, which is the area of the kitchen, and that gives us 105 feet. And what do we have to answer it in? Squared. So 105 square feet. Wonderful. Go ahead and try this one right now. A website has a daily trivia contest. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you'll have 1 1/2 hours to submit an answer. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, you'll have 1 1/4 hours. So how many total hours do you have in 1 week to respond? Go ahead and pause the video, work on figuring it out, make sure that you reread the question. How many total hours do you have in 1 week so that you're answering the correct question? Remember, multi-step problems sometimes take a little bit of perseverance, but I think you can do it. Okay, coming back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you get 7 hours? If you did, pat yourself on the back because this was not easy. Let me show you how I got the answer. So the first thing we do anytime we have a story problem is we highlight our question, in this case, How many total hours do you have in 1 week to respond? And we also need to highlight our important information. Well, here, our important information is that Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you have 1 1/2 hours. And also important information is Tuesdays and Thursdays, you have 1 1/4 hours. So what do we need to figure out first? Step 1. We're going to do 3 times 1 1/2. Why are we doing 3? Because I just see 1 1/2 and I see 1 1/4, and sometimes you guys just tend to see the numbers and think, oh, well, we're multiplying fractions this week, so I'm just going to multiply those together. If you did that, you would have gotten the wrong answer. The reason I'm multiplying 1 1/2 by 3 is because Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so 3 days of the week, you have 1 1/2 hours to respond. We're going to change that whole number 3 into a fraction, 3 over 1, and then we're going to make 1 1/2 an improper fraction so we can multiply. 1 1/2 is 3 halves. So now we're going to multiply across. 3 times 3 is 9, 2 times 1 is 2. 9 divided by 2 is 4. And 1/2, sorry, 4 1/2. So on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we are going to, you have a total amount of 4 1/2 hours in order to respond. Okay, that's just Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So step 2, we have to figure out Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now Tuesdays and Thursdays, that would be 2 times 1 1/4. 1 day, 2 day. So 2 times 1 1/4 hours. So again, we're going to have to turn our whole number into a fraction by putting a 1 underneath, and then we're going to multiply by the improper fraction. So 1 1/4 is the same as 5/4. Now we're going to multiply across. 2 times 5 is 10, 1 times 4 is 4. Now we have to do 10 divided by 4, and 10 divided by 4 equals 2 1/2. So over here, we're going to write on our data table that Tuesdays and Thursdays equals 2 1/2 hours. So again, I have to ask you, are we done? We have found out how many hours we have on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we have found out how many hours we have to respond on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But the question is, how many total hours do you have in 1 week to respond? So we need to add all of this together. So we're going to add 4 1/2 plus 2 1/2, and that equals 7 hours. Yay! Okay, so now it's your turn. You only have one practice problem tonight, and it is a doozy. Again, I really want you to think this through. Draw a diagram if it helps you, and continually read the questions because there are 2 questions you need to answer here, and make sure you're answering the right questions. So here's our practice problem. Addison has a choice of 2 cell phone plans. Plan A will charge her a flat fee of $20 per month for 300 minutes and 20 cents for every minute over 300. Plan B just charges her 10 cents per minute with no flat fee. So which plan would be cheaper if she talks to her friends for 442 minutes this month? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is, how much money would she save? This is a real life problem, something that you are going to be facing as you get older. So it's why it's really important that we know how to solve these multi-step word problems. Go ahead and pause the video and come back for the answer. Coming back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, your answer here is Plan B would be the cheaper plan, and she would save $4.20. So did you get the practice problem correct? Remember, be honest, it isn't for a grade, but I certainly hope you didn't give up. I hope that you tried and that you showed all of your work so that I can try to show you where perhaps you didn't get the correct answer tomorrow. Honestly, fill out that self-reflection. Could you teach a friend? Are you still confused? And fill in the space for any questions you still have. I hope you have a great night. Doing my little dab for Daniel, just letting you know that it is the end of this video, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.